Today I feel like I'm back in high school because I just got my hands on a little cheat sheet. Stay tuned. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Adobe Ring Ranch. So it looks like I got my hands on an important sheet of paper that can help me in the vegetable garden. Sometimes it does pay to do some Google searching. So I came across this wonderful vegetable planting guide from our region, and it actually goes month by month, and it tells you what vegetables you can plant or start or put in transplants or direct seed. And it is designated to our specific area, and the information is actually coming from the Texas A&M, which is highly rated. This to me is a game changer as far as the garden is concerned, because again, I'm going from Connecticut to West Texas, and the timing is completely off. So with this little chart, I'll be able to determine which plants I'm going to be starting, whether it be direct seeding or whether it be start some plant starts for later on. And the interesting part is, so far I nailed most of these. There's a few that were actually a surprise to me. We're going into June, July, and August, which is a little slowdown period. But then come to September, October, I mean, we're cranking it up with a lot of the greens and cauliflower and carrots. There's spinach on the list. There's my Swiss chard, and you can even put in tomato transplants. So this is important information as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to start going through my seed packets and counting back the days for maturity so that I can determine which I should be starting. I think I'm going to be doing more of a transplant this time, not so much direct sowing, but we'll see. I got a number of pots. It's just I guess space, and we'll have to see how the temperatures progress over the summer. But this is a great planting guide as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not sure if they have anything like this back home in Connecticut. Sorry. I'd have to double check that, but I did have which reminds me, I did have a book that I relied upon year after year after year. And if you guys are old enough to remember a PBS show called The Victory Garden, they came out with a number of books, but the one that I always relied upon was written by Bob Thompson. And if you ever look at that book, I think it was even in the library at some time, you get a month by month layout of what plants you should be starting, what plants you should be putting in the garden direct sowed. It tells you even when you should be fertilizing certain crops. So I relied heavily on that book because the Victory Garden was actually out of Boston, Mass. So their zone was pretty close to ours in Connecticut. Connecticut may have been just a touch warmer by one zone, but basically I could follow the Boston rules, no problem. So if you are back home and you want some interesting reading, you can check out the Victory Garden book. It was written a while back, but again, I relied on that one, and it breaks it down in alphabetical order. And they also came out with a cookbook. A chef named Marian Morash. The book was a companion to the gardening book, and that cookbook actually broke down each vegetable, and it gave you a number of recipes. So it started with, say, asparagus, and it would give you a number of recipes that you can cook with asparagus. It also gave you lessons on what you could do with leftovers or preserving them. Could you freeze them, and how do you freeze them? And it went right through the alphabet. So it was a kind of cool thing for me, because if you grew squash and you know how much squash you get off of one plant, it's like, well, what am I going to do with it? You could go right to the squash section of that cookbook, and there would be multiple recipes. Of course, when I was younger, we didn't have Google search or the internet to check recipes for all this stuff, so I had to rely on a book. But anyway, it was kind of cool to have the garden how-to book, and then the companion cookbook was great to do up some recipes to follow along with the produce coming out of the garden. So anyway, that's enough about Connecticut, but that was a good book. And can you believe now I'm down to a single piece of paper to go by, rather than I think it was an inch and a half thick book. So this kind of simplifies my life a little bit. I can't wait to really zero in on the time frames of this planting guide. I definitely trust A&M for our area, so I'm definitely going to give this a go. And of course, Mother Nature has the final say on temperatures and what she's going to allow us to do. But again, it's a good guide, and I'm happy to have it. I'm glad I came across it, and I will be definitely using this until I learn the proper planting months and times for future gardens. So for right now, that's gonna end it. There's no planting, no baby chicks or anything in this video. I wanted to take a break out of the 95-degree temperatures and give you a little update that there is information like this out there, in case you're struggling on when should I plant it, or how to plant it. So check your local state agriculture, not really companies, but groups out there, and see if you can get your hands on one of these little cheat sheets, let's call it. All right, so for now, that's a wrap from the Adobe Ring Ranch. I hope everyone's doing well out there, and as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Until the next video, take care.